Another campus-wide lockdown at UNC, find out what happened and how students stayed safe. Plus, big changes in store for Lindsay Street, where there might be some relief for all the traffic. And watch what you buy for that stuffy nose. The FDA says some cold medicines are ineffective. This is OU Nightly. Nightly, I'm Bailey Coyle.
And I'm Snowforth. We begin tonight with an update from breaking news at the University of North Carolina campus.
Authorities at the university have issued an all-clear after a campus-wide lockdown. Top university's officials say a man allegedly entered the student union with a firearm before exiting without incident. Chapel Hill police arrested 27-year-old Michael Deontay Harris north of the university. This lockdown comes less than a month after an associate professor was shot and killed by a graduate student on campus. Here in Norman, OUPD reminds students to contact police if they feel unsafe.
And changes are coming to a busy street on campus. The Norman City Council is giving the green light for improvements to Lindsay Street. OU Nightly's Mecca Thompson explains.
Lindsay Street, the focal point of campus traffic with just one lane from the west to the east. Members of Norman City Council approved funding for many road widening projects throughout the area.
The Lindsay Street project is part of a bond program that was approved by Norman voters in April of 2019.
The entire project consists of 2 phases, Pickard Avenue to Elm Avenue and Elm Avenue through Jenkins Avenue. The estimated cost of the project is roughly $10 million, with construction set to start in 4 years.
So yes, we are very early in the process. One is scheduled to go under construction in 2027, the other in 2029.
Lindsay is a very busy street in relation to OU's campus. However, council members are aware of the history that it holds, the homes, and everyday college life. The plan is not to disrupt this, but to make it safer and easier to navigate.
It's a lot about adding bike lanes, doing better sidewalks, streetscape enhancements, street lights, decorative street lights, more landscaping.
The City of Norman is working with university officials and President Harris to bring this new project to life. Reporting in Norman, Mecca Thompson, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Mecca. The council also approved projects to widen sections of 24th and 36th Street, along with portions of Tecumseh Road.
Temperatures this week are much cooler than they were at this time last week.
That's for sure. OU Nightly's meteorologist Christine Gormley has a first look at the forecast. Christine?
Yeah, so temperatures are a lot cooler this week than they were last week, just like you guys said. We're in the 70s right now across the state, 79 here in Norman, 77 in Oklahoma City, 79 up in Enid, and 60s out in the panhandle of Oklahoma, 70s across the east. And for tonight, we're looking at 70s and 60s and a chance of rain, another round coming tonight, but Josh Duncan's going to have cooler temps linger, talk about the state faircast and all that coming up. Back to you.
Pennsylvania escaped fugitive Danilo Cavalcante is in police custody after 2 weeks on the run. CNN's Laura Aguirre has details on the arrest.
Our suspect was captured.
Pennsylvania's governor giving the news so many were anxiously awaiting.
There were no injuries to law enforcement or to the public. He was apprehended this morning with no shots fired.
Police say they started to close the net overnight after a residential burglar alarm drew more officers into an area in northern Chester County. An air search unit picked up a heat signal, but stormy weather and lightning forced units on the ground to hunker down and wait to move in.
Tactical teams converged on the area, his rifle with him as he went.
Police say they released a canine to stop Cavalcante's escape.
The dog subdued him, and team members from both of those teams immediately moved in. He continued to resist, but was forcibly taken into custody.
State police say Cavalcante did suffer a minor bite wound and was seen by medical experts at the scene.
He was transported to our Avondale station for further processing and interview. and he will ultimately be transferred to a state correctional institute where he will be housed and begin to serve his life sentence.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Cavalcante was previously sentenced to life in prison for fatally stabbing his ex-girlfriend. He's also wanted for a 2017 murder in his home country of Brazil.
An Oklahoma representative has his thoughts on the latest news from Joe Biden's impeachment. Kennedy Patterson has that and the rest of today's national headlines from the News Center. Kennedy.
Oklahoma Congressman and Norman Representative Tom Cole says there is a reason for an impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy announces those plans earlier this week. Republicans are looking into the president's potential involvement in his son Hunter Biden's foreign business dealings.
So I don't see it as good politics. I do think there's enough stuff here that it deserves to be looked at.
A federal judge restricts former President Donald Trump's access to classified information from his upcoming case. Trump is accused of mishandling sensitive national security secrets after leaving office. Trump's lawyers are asking for a secure location to discuss the classified records with him. According to Judge Eileen Cannon, Trump will be granted these records in a location that will be overseen by a federal third-party officer. U.S. legislators discuss growing concerns over the advancement in artificial intelligence. Tech leaders met with U.S. senators at Capitol Hill to address the need for regulation of AI concerns. These concerns include national security, job protection, the spread of misinformation, and copyright. The Senate hopes to get ahead of AI and keep users safe. In Bailey, Snow, Utah Senator Mitt Romney announces that he will not be seeking re-election.
Thanks, Kennedy. It's about time where cold and flu season is ramping up, but those over-the-counter medications you've been using may be ineffective. OU Nightly's Addison Arthur spoke with pharmacists and has the story.
With cold and flu season upon us, it is time to check those medicine cabinets. The FDA panel recently came out and said some common cold medicines, just like this one, have been ineffective. The popular ingredient that was up for debate by the FDA was phenylephrine. Although it is not harmful, pharmacists and doctors have debated its effectiveness in oral form for years.
Probably not recommend it.
A Norman pharmacist, Jackie Strong, tells us what she believes is the best over-the-counter medication to cure your common cold.
Other products you can use are like saline sprays. So saline you can use it every couple hours to help just squirt up there and like rinse out your nose. You can do the nasal rinses like the neti pot. Those are always great to wash out.
And if those methods don't help, Strong says you can opt for some newer treatments.
And the new product called X-Clear, which is also something you can use every couple hours. It's xylitol. And then if it's really bad, like at night, Afrin is a great, opens up your nasal passages, but it's only recommended to use for like 3 to 5 days.
The next time you are out buying congestive medicine, make sure to read the label. Reporting live from Doctors Park Pharmacy here in Norman, Addison Arthur, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Addison. When we return, natural disasters continue throughout the world.
Learn which country is feeling the after effects of Mediterranean storm Daniel.
And how flash flooding up north is causing locals to evacuate.
All of this after the break.
Flooding devastates cities worldwide, and a new record for climate disasters has been reached. Drake Foley has the details in Earth Report.
A massive flash flood has destroyed at least a quarter of a Libyan city and killed more than 5,000 people. Libyan officials say Mediterranean storm Daniel caused 2 dams to collapse, sending floodwaters into the city of Derna. President Joe Biden says the U.S. will work with the UN and Libya to provide money and support. In Massachusetts, the city of Leominster is reeling after a flash flood devastated homes and businesses. The city's mayor says at least 11 inches of rain fell on the city in just 6 to 7 hours. The state's emergency management urged residents near a local dam to evacuate due to a potential collapse. With 4 months left to go in 2023, the United States has hit a new record for climate disasters in a year. As of Monday, there have been 23 climate and weather events that have brought at least $1 billion in damages. That breaks the record set in 2020 with 22 events. 8 disasters were added to the list in August alone, including Hurricane Idalia and the fires in Hawaii. Not only have the disasters increased, but the heat has too. The average temperature for meteorological summer this year was 73 degrees, the 15th highest on record. Snow and Bailey, back to you.
Thanks, Drake. Coming up on OU Nightly, a new store is popping up on Main Street.
Stick with us to see what parents and children can look forward to after this.
And we are gearing up for another round of rain across some parts of Oklahoma. We'll time it out on Futurecast and show you how much rain you can expect coming up. Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us here on OU Nightly. It was a hot start to the month of September. Look at all the red boxes on the calendar indicating highs above average. We had 4 days with triple-digit highs, and then it's been much cooler this week with highs mostly in the 70s. We've also been tracking rain chances across our state, and right now there are a few showers up in the northwestern portions. The metro right now is dry. And taking a look at Futurecast, we do expect some more rain showers to develop as we head later into the evening from southwestern across central Oklahoma. So there will be a chance of rain for Norman here tonight. And then throughout the day tomorrow, it's not going to be a washout, but we can't rule out some isolated showers really at any point throughout the day for your Thursday. And of course, lots of cloud cover, even if there's not any rain falling from the sky. And also tomorrow is the start of the Oklahoma State Fair, so if you're headed out, plan for temperatures in the low to mid 70s, and again, bring that umbrella and the rain jacket for a chance of rain, but it's not incredibly likely for tomorrow. Then another round of rain on the way for Friday, the best chance of rain during the morning. That'll then slide to the southeast, and the weekend is shaping up to be dry. But before we get there, here's how much rain you can expect. It looks like amounts in the metro will be around 1/10 of an inch, some higher totals up to 1 or even 2 inches possible across far western parts of Oklahoma. And all of the rain and cloud cover is going to keep our temperatures cooler. We'll be 5 to 15 degrees below average with highs in the 70s through Saturday. Then we start to turn things around with near to above average temperatures returning for early next week. What does that mean? Well, highs will be back into the mid 80s coming up next Monday. So summer is not done just yet. Here's a live look outside from the campus cam here at the University of Oklahoma. Current temperature is 79 degrees and it feels like 79 with a little bit of humidity out there right now. And overnight tonight, lows will be in the mid 50s to mid 60s with again a chance of some scattered showers. Not everyone will see rain tonight. Then as we head into tomorrow, again, rain most likely during the morning into the midday from southwestern through central Oklahoma with highs in the 70s for most of Oklahoma. Your 7-day forecast shows a gradual warming trend as we head into the weekend. Then sunshine returns for Sunday, and we'll start to heat it back up for early next week as highs make it back to the mid 80s. So another push of summer is still out ahead of us.
You know, my favorite season is summer, but I was really digging all the fall weather. I looked up a fall podcast and listened to it like on my way to class, and I was really loving it. So I'm kind of sad that it's not summer.
It'll be here to stay eventually.
Okay,
We'll get there.
That's true. Well, thanks, Josh. A new affordable children's store is opening on Main Street. Once upon a child buys and gently used kids' clothing, shoes, toys, and baby gear. Bringing in items not only helps be eco-friendly, but you can also get paid for it. This is the company's third location in Oklahoma and is opening up on Main Street tomorrow, September 14th. Co-owner Eric shares why they chose to open here in Norman.
Yeah, so Norman was one of those places that didn't have a kids' clothing shop that was affordable. And so we saw that it was somewhere that needed something like this, and so we thought we could help out. And we've really enjoyed the Once Upon a Child brand shopping there, so we thought that Norman would too.
Check out their deals tomorrow, including the first 25 people in line get $10 gift cards, and the deals don't stop there. You'll get to continue throughout the weekend. And the quarterback's questions continue for the Sooner football squad.
Abby Williams has what Brent Venables says about this ahead of the weekend's Sooner sellout versus Tulsa.
And another OU head coach adds a #1 to her resume. But it's not a national title this time. This and more coming up in sports. I'm Abby Williams, and it's time for sports. This week, OU head football coach Brent Venables addresses the question everyone's been asking. When will Jackson Arnold get his time to shine?
I mean, he's our #2 quarterback. I don't see any reason we would want to redshirt him. We can't afford to. We don't have the depth, at that position. So I'd like to continue to bring him along. And what we're doing with him, I don't think that's necessarily indicative of what he can't do. So we'll continue to, give him some opportunity when it's the right time.
The Super Bowl is the greatest game in all of football. Ethan Downs says every week is like the big game and how they prepare for OU's opponent every Saturday.
We've got to treat every week like it's our Super Bowl. And, the past is dead, but we've got to watch it, we've got to learn from it, and we've got to get better. And we know we're going to improve every single week. And our goal is to get better and better so we can become a championship team. And after 2 games, we can't say we're back yet.
For Patty Gasso, there's no such thing as a rebuilding year, only reloading. Kansas City area infielder Lexi McDaniel announced her commitment to the Sooners this afternoon on X. According to Extra Innings Softball, she's the #1 ranked player in the country for the class of 2025. OU soccer welcomes Kansas to John Crane Field tomorrow night. The Sooners have the opportunity to earn their 5th consecutive home victory, giving them the 2nd longest home winning streak in program history. The NBA has announced a new rule this season that fines teams for resting their star players. The league defines star players as those selected to the NBA All-Star team or the All-NBA team in the last 3 seasons. Fans will no longer be in for a surprise when they find out their favorite player won't even see the court. In week 2 of the NFL, former Sooner Jalen Hurts and the Eagles welcome the Vikings to the city of brotherly love. For the Eagles' home opener, Phillies coming off a road win as they prepare for their first Thursday night football matchup. And one former Sooner is taking his footwork from the backfield to the ballroom. Adrian Peterson headlines this season's cast of Dancing with the Stars, where he is partnered with dancer Brett Stewart. Bailey, Snow.
Thanks, Abby. Up next on OU Nightly, and it was an eventful night at the Video Music Awards.
When we return, see who made their return to the stage and who went home with the most awards.
I'm Savannah Simmons at the OU Nightly Update Desk. Minnesota voters are suing to remove Donald Trump from the state's 2024 presidential election. Voters argued that the former president should be disqualified under the 14th Amendment. That says anyone who has taken an oath but later, quote, engaged in insurrection or rebellion cannot hold office again. This is the second such lawsuit filed against Trump this week. Bailey, Snow, back to you.
Thanks, Savannah. NTV's biggest music celebration is always hours of must-see performances, surprise guests, and record-setting award wins. And last night was no different.
First, you don't have to say bye to NSYNC anymore because they made a surprise appearance after a decade. They also gave a friendship bracelet to Taylor Swift, who swept the VMAs with 9 awards.
She now ties and sets the record for the most wins in one night and the second most overall wins in history. And with the cloudy weather all day, we're finally going to see some showers.
Josh, when will we see the rain tonight?
Yeah, we're dry in the metro right now, but after about 7 or 8 o'clock, some isolated showers will develop. Not everyone is going to see the rain with a low of 63 degrees. Then tomorrow, it's only a 30% chance of rain, mainly during the morning and early afternoon, with highs in the mid-70s. How about that for your Thursday? Your 7-day forecast shows a warming trend as we head into next week. We won't have any triple digits on the way, but some highs back in the mid-80s, so not as cool as the weather has been over the past few days. Back to you.
Thanks, Josh, and thank you for watching OU Nightly. I'm Bailey Coyle.
And I'm Snowforth. Be sure to watch OU Nightly tomorrow live at 4:30. Good night.
Nice job, gang.